Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 28th of September 2021. I'm going to use the Crow Tarot for today's reading. I used this in the live tarot session that I did yesterday, so I want to use these cards again. Let's see what they have to say about Tuesday and what the day is going to look like. In terms of the astrology, we have Mercury, the communication planet, that goes into retrograde on Monday. So if you want some more information on that, check out the weekly horoscope. I talk about that in a bit of detail. And Mercury retrograde, it offers us new opportunities, but you've got to watch out for details, especially in things like contracts and business dealings and computers and internets and things like that. So check that out if you are interested. Let's see what the cards have to say about Tuesday and what's coming up. So I'm going to choose 3 cards here. First card is the 9 of Cups. Okay, that's fab. That's hopes and dreams being realized. Then we have the Hanged Man, a change in perspective. Oh, okay. And then finally the Tower again. Wow, okay. So what the cards are saying today is that you may approach situations in a way that kind of indicates that the spirit of delusion may be with you a little bit. You see the wonderful treasures inherent in absolutely everything, and you may minimize the inherent problems in those same situations to a degree where you're only looking at the good stuff and you're not even acknowledging the negatives, and you're kind of wearing your rose-tinted spectacles. So be careful on making quick judgments on things that you think are wonderful and problem-free. There may be something involved that can actually cause you an issue, and try and keep an objective point of view going and look at the situation as it appears on paper, not just the way it makes you feel. Especially if we're talking about job applications or choosing a publisher or writing out a contract for letting out your flat or your house or anything like that. And try and not let the emotions overwhelm you and look at things how they seem really. So, let's say you're getting a new tenant for your flat, you're renting that out, and you do a credit check on that person and it comes back as terrible, and bills have never been paid and there have been defaults and everything. But you actually speak to the tenant and you think, oh, but this person is so nice, I'd love them to live in my house. Then try and make an objective decision somewhere in the middle between the bad credit and you really liking this person, and try and navigate that as reasonably and as objectively as you can so that you avoid things going awry. Next, we've got the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, we see this crow upside down, and the Hanged Man is all about perspective. And usually it's someone who has been strung up on a tree there and he's kind of taking a time out. And the reason why he's the Hanged Man is because something has been done that isn't particularly helpful to the rest of the rest of society. So society says we need to punish this person in order to rehabilitate him. Let's try and make him see the light so that these negative behaviors don't occur again in future. And then when the Hanged Man is in reverse, usually the legs form a 4, and that's new security and structure. So I have now changed my ways and I'm going to operate differently. And then the head of the Hanged Man is surrounded in a halo. So it's enlightenment. So it's taking a time out for the sake of learning to do things in a way that is above board, that doesn't harm anyone else, that doesn't harm you, and that works in tandem with the rest of society. So we've got the Hanged Man upright here. And what these 2 cards are saying then in conjunction with one another is if you go through the day today just looking at all the positives, you may really regret that, and you may hit a wall that says, okay, you need to stop and start all over again because your perspective wasn't helpful. And if you keep on with it without taking a break, then things could really go horribly awry with the Tower, where you can see Big Ben being hit by lightning and really blowing up. So something that serves as a security or as a structure in your life could be compromised by your lack of objectivity. And a lot of us think, you know what, if I see the best in other people and if I see the best in any situation, then I'm being nice and I'm being, a pleasant force of good in the world. But that is not always the case. And particularly on this day, the cards are warning you that if you go into fantasy mode and you only see what you want and you keep plowing on with that perception of reality, regardless of the warning signs, because the hangman is a warning to stop. Hang upside down on the tree, see things differently and kind of sort it out before you really take a tumble and things become unpleasant. If you ignore the warning signs, then you can really run into a situation which then is really unpleasant and where you have to do a lot of work to undo a problem, and you don't have to go there. The cards are saying that before things blow up or go to smithereens, you really are going to get a lot of warning signs, and you have the opportunity to hold back or to stop or to look at the situation again and to behave differently. You're not on this journey where you're forced to continue on regardless of what's happening. You can pull over anytime you want. You can reassess, you can make other decisions, you can ask for help and enlightenment. And if anything, if you're uncertain or if there are warning signs and you're not quite sure whether you should acknowledge them or listen to them or whether you should just plow through. I mean, on different days that varies, right? Sometimes it's important to just keep going. But on this day, taking a moment to reconsider and to look at all the information again is really going to serve you and is going to prevent this from happening. And also in the Hangman card here, we've got these poppies. And the poppies, they can be turned into painkillers. So the need for painkillers can be removed if you get things turned around, especially as it relates to your perspective. And then you're not in a position that actually hurts, and you don't need to alleviate your pain after the fact. So hindsight is all very well, but the cards are saying that you don't need hindsight today. If you're doing something that isn't aligned with your true purpose, or if you're doing something that isn't going to turn out well, you don't need to take the elevator all the way to the basement. You can get off sometime before things really hit the fan. So pay attention to signs, to symbols, to what the universe is giving you, also to the way you feel. If something doesn't sit right and you're like, I'm not quite sure about this, don't just ignore it and keep going. Really honor that. And it's better to move ahead slowly than to rush into something that then is going to cause major issues. Number-wise, we've got 16 and 9 is 25 and 12 is 37. Is it? Let me double check. 12 and 9 is 21 and 16. I always, the numbers sometimes when they're, you must think that I'm illiterate. Okay. 9 and 12 is 21. Oh yeah. And 16 is 37. Yeah. I just want to make sure, because if I give you the wrong number, then that's like this, then it's worse. I'd rather take a little, you see, I'm making it work for me. I'd rather take a little bit of time to count them again and to look unintelligent than to give you the wrong number. So 3 and 7 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and that has come up again and again and again and again over the last few days. And 1 is the vibration of the pioneer, the magician who listens to his higher self and then takes action. So your feelings are super, super important, and your guidance is really important when you're doing anything. And if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel good, then really hold back and resist taking any action until it does feel right, because it's going to save you a lot of trouble in the long run. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, numerology, and my intuition in my personal readings, and I combine all of them to give you answers to any questions you may have. So if you want to know about your life purpose and what the ideal job would be for you, what's happening in relationships and what you can work on and what you can expect. If you're looking at plans in future and when the best time would be to move or to start the new business, or you have any questions about your spiritual development or your personality, or a second pair of eyes that ideally will give you some clarity, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.